Wednesday, November 20th. Welcome inside the vault for a Ravens lunch hour live stream. It's Homage Giveaway Wednesday. I should have added that in there as well. I'm Bobby Trossett, as always, joined alongside Sarah Ellison. We've got a lot to get to today, including our Homage Giveaway, which we will do at the end of the show, as I mentioned there now twice. Just a reminder, our new brand sponsor is Homage. It's an apparel merchandise company, not just that from a Ravens perspective, but really all pro sports. There are just a ton of different gear items on there. There's some cool new features that we'll be sharing a little bit later on in the show. But to be eligible for today's giveaway, which is a free Homage t-shirt of your choice, you have to do the following things that you see as a pinned comment in the live chat. Subscribe to the vault. If you already are, you'll just have those screenshot in the email if you win. Like the video, same thing. Leave a super chat with the hashtag vault. That's the most important part of this entire puzzle, because Sarah's randomized way of picking winners, it doesn't work without the hashtag vault. Not the vault, hashtag vault with a super chat. And then just click on the link that we have included in the show notes. And if you end up becoming the winner, it's also the link in the live chat as well as a pinned comment. That's essentially the instruction. So here's what we have coming up today. Sarah, we don't feel like in our pre-show meeting, maybe we haven't given enough due to some of the significant defensive moves, both with personnel and a signing that came in yesterday to albeit the practice squad. So we're going to do exactly that off the top. Ben Roethlisberger had some things to say about the whole Mike Tomlin versus John Harbaugh discussions that's taken place in recent days. Matt Stover, Ravens Ring of Honor member and former kicker in Baltimore, provided some clarity on Justin Tucker. We just referenced it briefly at the end of the show yesterday. We're actually going to get into the weeds a little bit. And could potentially Ray Lewis be a college head coach? We'll have to see. Deion Sanders potentially on the move as well. In other words, lots to get to. Happy Wednesday. Great to see you, partner, as always.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Homage Giveaway Wednesday. Yes, you can win a free t-shirt if you don't, though. Today I busted out. This is from Homage. Just the vibrant purple, Bobby. We got to bring the vibes back. You got to zoom out because, look, I got joggers with it, too. Look at that. The little I love the way these fit. They feel so good.
Look at this.
I like the H. Where we go? H down here.
Look
H
at this.
right here. Boom. How do you not get the purple vibes going on in here? I love it. Honestly, usually sweatpants are like sagging off of me. These things fit, these joggers fit so well. The whole outfit, Bobby, I'm telling you, I'm going out all day like this. I live in Ohio, AFC North Territory. I'm going out all day like this. Tonight, I coach my 7th and 8th grade boys basketball team. You better believe I'm coming in all purple all day today with the joggers and all. Let's go.
Look at the jumpsuit.
Go click the link and go get one of these suckers. It's so warm. It's good for the cold weather coming in. Let's go.
This chick is looking clean and comfy right now, and she is a jumpsuit queen. Right? You look like you're about to get off a bus to go beat up the Steelers. That's what you look like right now. Okay. And super chats are flying in, especially since you've shown this thing off, today's outfit. Justin Holt says, hashtag vault. Nice hoodie, Sarah. Thoughts on Desmond King? We're about to give you them for sure. Asmodeus, a.k.a. my wingman extraordinaire, a.k.a. Richard, says Sarah's looking fire. Hashtag vault. AD says Lamar, Harbaugh, and Tucker are the biggest culprits from Sunday in Pittsburgh. Hashtag vault. And Captain Hard weighing in as well, saying that Ben Roethlisberger has a point. If it was just Lamar that plays bad, I could disagree. But it's the whole team.
Whole team.
Tell me the head coach might be choking, and it trickles down to the team. That's what tells him the head coach might be, quote, choking, and it trickles down to the team. Asmodeus drops in a second one because he wants to up his chances of winning this giveaway from Homage and says Sarah would beat up the Steelers better than the Ravens did, and you never know. I know my partner's got some tenacity to her. Anyway, we're off and running.
Go back to split screen. There we go.
You got the big screen. That showed some new merch off. And again, we're very pleased, as you see in the pinned comment, you see in the logo, you see in the ticker that's scrolling down below. We're thrilled to be working with Homage. We have a couple more on schedule for the next few Wednesdays. So enter yourself in. We'll randomly give away a free Homage t-shirt, given those instructions in the live chat a little bit later on. But you want to talk about the signing first and foremost that came down yesterday, Sarah?
Yes, I do. But let me open it up like this, Bobby. Let me open it up like this. Let me ask you a question. Up until Sunday, okay, up until Sunday, what were you and I and everybody saying was going to get in the way of the Ravens Super Bowl hopes?
One specific phase of this team.
And even more specific to that specific phase, which is defense.
The back end.
The back end. Now, we've been so caught up, and rightfully so, about how poorly Tucker kicked, obviously, how badly Harbaugh and company coached, obviously. We've talked about the controversy about how much Derrick Henry touched the ball or didn't touch the ball. Where was he on the 2-point conversion? All of that, of course.
The turnovers.
The 3 turnovers, the penalties, leading the league in penalties, all issues, of course, that cropped up against the Steelers. So, but we're Wednesday now. And it's time to really sink our teeth into the low-key significant moves that have been going on with this past defense that just continued yesterday, which is your point of the signing of former All-Pro Desmond King, who has only played in 1 game this year. Okay. He was signed to the Ravens practice squad. And Bobby, it might end up being nothing. But what I would like to submit is that Tre'Davious White, we all thought might have been nothing, as he hasn't played well in quite some time, partially due to injury, partially because he was returning from injury and wasn't 100%. But Bobby, you add Desmond King onto the fact that Arthur Mollett, I mean, we know that he is not going to go back on IR, according to John Harbaugh. He's been what the Ravens wanted to be their nickel corner. Instead, Marlon Humphrey's been almost having to do full-time duty there. And whether Mollett goes on IR or not, we don't know. But up through 12 weeks, he hasn't been reliable with his injuries. So you enter in Desmond King, who has some background to him. You got Tre'Davious White, who has some background to him. Comes in during the 4th quarter, makes some massive plays in place of Brandon Stevens. You move Kyle Hamilton. You replace Williams with Ardarius Washington. And Bobby, you add it all up. Yes, they're all low key, but together, at least on Sunday, they were significant. And I might submit that it might be significant. I'm not talking about number 1 pass defense, but certainly good enough to hold the line if the offense can get things back going on. So lots of low-key significant moves here, Bobby.
Yeah. And to dive in a little bit deeper, just in case you don't know anything about Desmond.
Yeah.
Desmond King, as you mentioned, and as Aaron Wilson first reported, is a former All-Pro. He's a veteran defensive back. He's logged quite a bit of service time in the NFL. He was a 5th-round pick back in 2017, 151st overall to the Los Angeles Chargers, where he spent the beginning of his career. Probably not a coincidence, just because of the Ravens' ties with this program. Certainly doesn't hurt that he is a former Iowa Hawkeye, where he played his college football. We know the Ravens have gone into the Iowa well before in the draft and certainly had some success doing so. Ken McCusick noted a few things as well, friend of the show, and said that he played well in 2023 with Houston. He allowed 5.9 yards per target at slot corner, but was flagged 6 times and 230 coverage snaps. He will turn 30 next month on the 14th of December. Most of his career experience has been at slot corner. He has played some safety as well. And Ken goes on to write, obviously a good backup option for the Ravens, who are a little bit thin at that position, given that Marcus and Eddie look to be on the outside looking in, and some of the other injuries that they've had.
Yeah. So obviously, again, it's kind of like Tre'Davious White, where or at least the start of it, where it's like, I don't know, does he have anything left? Is there anything that he can do? We don't know, but I like the idea that the Ravens are adding veterans. And because now there are so many different pieces that you can kind of mix and match, that having a veteran that just knows where he's supposed to be and knows what he's supposed to be doing and has once played at an all-pro level, who knows? Who knows? He could be, forgotten about 3 weeks from now, or he could be another Tre'Davious White. But I definitely like what Ken is saying here. He's versatile. So last year he played, or in 2021 and 2022, he mostly played on the outside. Ken speaking to last year where he was mostly at nickel. Yeah. So, and then a little bit of safety. That's a great guy to have in your practice squad. Great guy to have in your practice squad.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to reiterate too, is that this is a practice squad signing. This is not a 53-man roster signing, just to be abundantly clear. He'll wear the number 35 Ravens jersey. And as his Instagram story shows, it looks like he's already in the building and took a photo of one of the 2 Lombardi trophies that sit at one winning drive. Is that?
I think we both know where that is. It's right when you come in from the main entrance, because you can see the reflection off the glass where that leather couch is, Bobby, when you first come in.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can see the stairs that go up to the second floor. That is right when you come in from the main entrance. They got their Lombardi. They got their AFC Hunt trophy there. He walked in, and right away it lets you know what the standard is in Baltimore.
He did spend part of 2023 in Pittsburgh, so he probably understands what it's like in the AFC North, and now he's going to get a shot to compete for a spot on the Ravens 53-man roster. Elsewhere, and you have a video to go along with the young gun, number 2, Nate Wiggins, who perhaps quietly, given how much the unit itself has struggled this year, is putting together a solid rookie season. The 33rd team, courtesy of Next Gen Statistics, has a bunch of different corners on this list with the best cover EPA when targeted. And look where Nate falls at minus 21.6. We knew coming out of Clemson that this dude was fearless. We knew he had a certain chip on his shoulder. We knew that he would be running with you stride for stride with that, what was it? Was it 4.28? Oh, it was somewhere around there for his 40-yard dash.
Super fast, yes.
I want to say it was somewhere around there. Yeah, but you want to know why it was 4.28? Because I remember the late Jacoby Jones on our show joking about the 4.21 man, 4.21 about Xavier Worthy. Nate was just behind Xavier, his draft classmate, at 4.28. So anyway, you knew those things. But now he's starting to kind of earn more and more time, Sarah, and I think that could continue. Should he continue to put up these kinds of numbers, and not a lot of people are throwing his way.
No. Now they have been picking on Brandon Stevens a bit, so they might want to go try. I don't know if Tre'Davious White is out there. Maybe they'll try again at the rookie. But love this little kind of video from @AndInFilms on TikTok, and he kind of sums up how well Nate has been playing.
21-year-old Nate Wiggins is one of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL. His advanced coverage stats are up there with Pat Surtain and the best. 15 receptions on 37 targets, 175 yards allowed, a passer rating of 55.6 allowed, negative 10.7 catch rate over expected, allowing just 2.1 average target separation. Let's compare that to Pat Surtain, the best cornerback in the NFL, allowing way more receptions per target. He has 3 interceptions, though. His passer rating is a little lower, 50.2. Catch rate over expected, just negative 0.1%. Coverage EPA of negative 18.2. That's really good. And then 2.6 average separation. Not only is he an incredible athlete with 4.2 speed, but his technique is just picture perfect. Watch how good he is pushing the receiver to the sideline, just completely eliminating them from the play. There's no way this ball can ever be thrown. He's gone against guys like CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase. Look at this rep against Jamar Chase. Look at the recovery speed on him. It's just phenomenal to close that gap, get a hand in there. He's just so good at press. It's insane. Jamar Chase locked up again. At the top of the screen, going to cover T. Higgins across the entire field.
I had to pause that for a second. Do you remember how pissed off? Excuse my.
Do
you remember how upset Jamar and everybody in Cincinnati was for that specific play that they just that he just played for? I mean, Nate had so much use of hands on that breakup that. Oh, I can remember everybody was flipping out about that. But it just, again, speaks to Nate is an aggressive press corner. Sorry to interrupt.
Jaden Daniels tries to go at him in the red zone, and it's Absolutely not there. The more NFL reps he gets, the more plays he's going to make like this with just straight up instincts. That's stuff that you'll develop over time as a corner.
Oh, okay. So we've now reviewed Desmond King. We're looking at Nate Wiggins just upping his game each and every week just because he's a rookie, and so he's getting better. Ardarius Washington, as we know, the Ravens moved him into Marcus Williams' spot and moved Kyle Hamilton to deep safety. We'll talk a little bit more about him. Then you do that in your first game. I loved Ryan Mink. He pointed out how Ardarius Washington is unafraid. He is my kind of guy. He put up this video, Ryan Mink did, of the 5'8", 180-pound Ardarius Washington. I have Ardarius Washington by 2 inches.
Yeah.
2 inches. Comfortably. And I know this because I took my oldest son, who's 15, to his doctor's appointment, just a general, once a year checkup. And we always fight about who's taller between the two of us. And so I asked the nurse to measure me too, just so that we can see who's taller. I'm 5'10". My son is just over 5'9", so I got him for at least a couple more months. He's coming for me though. Okay,
you
so
have
I've
me
got
and Ardarius by 2 inches, as we found out in Vegas, and
yes,
when you came for the summer 2 years ago with Gardner, who's plus 5'9" now. He was not taller than me at that point.
Yes,
he was not taller than me at that point. So I ain't gonna be visiting Columbus anytime soon. I'm gonna be looking up at everybody.
No, my guy's got. I'm not joking, Bobby. Stretch marks up his back because he is shooting up right now. Shooting up. I think he might hit 6'3", but we'll see.
He's gonna be a hooper. He's gonna be a hooper.
Oh, and he, by the way, I was gonna say if you follow me on Instagram, but I don't let anybody follow me on Instagram unless it's my family or friends. But my son beat me one-on-one in basketball for the first time in his life on Saturday, which I was half depressed and half proud. But now that we're about the same size, he's just quicker and stronger than me now, and I'm very happy for him. Okay, back to Ardarius Washington. So he's 5'8", 180 pounds, and here comes Steelers Darnell Washington at 6'4", 264, and Washington is just look at him drop his shoulder.
Oh yeah,
and just drop Washington. Just drops him. Ardarius Washington all day long was in the correct spots, which is all they've been needing from Marcus Williams. So he comes in here, and check this out, Bobby. The top 5 defensive grades, Ardarius Washington, number 4.
Yep.
When's the last time Marcus Williams or Eddie Jackson was in the top 5 of defensive graded players? And we were talking about Tre'Davious White? Yeah, it's been a minute. I don't know. That was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Tre'Davious White, second highest graded defensive player. Low-key, significant changes in the back end that is just being overshadowed by, everything else we've talked about. Tre'Davious White, here he is, Bobby. Run down his numbers.
Yeah, I mean, and especially with what he did one-on-one with Pickens, who was having himself a game and who Brandon Stevens had a tough afternoon with. Tre'Davious comes in, starts taking some of those right cornerback snaps away from Stevens, finishes with a PFF overall coverage grade of 83.3. 4 targets. He allowed 1 first down, forced 2 incompletions, one of which we're looking at right here, going head-to-head with Pickens, who, again, Pickens is a big body guy.
Mm-hmm.
He out-physicaled him. A passer rating allowed of 59.4 on Russell Wilson. So, yeah, this is somebody who, again, I keep mentioning it because I think it's notable. He is just 13 months removed from that torn Achilles that ended his year with Buffalo. He ends up going to the Rams. They sort of thrust him in because of a lack of depth in their cornerback room. He starts to log more snaps right out of the gate. His first 4 games reflected that. He wasn't ready. It was a premature decision because of the quick turnaround coming off the Achilles tear. His numbers were brutal, particularly in coverage, but he gets a month down because of the trade request and hopefully got himself healthy and rehabbed, and now maybe playing with a shot in the arm, not only for himself rejuvenation-wise, but also for this Ravens back end that desperately needed a spark. And that's what he gave them on Sunday. He gave them a spark, and that's exactly what Ardarius Washington gave this group with the defensive personnel change. And can we just give Ardarius a little bit more love too? Because he Ryan said it. He's 5'8", $180. Wink Martindale over the summer. He didn't mean anything by it, but we talked with him about the back end, and specifically Ardarius' name came up. And we get it. He's an undersized player in the NFL. Doesn't play like it. Wink said he was too small. Again, didn't mean anything by it, demeaning-wise. But he's heard that his entire football career. And not only has he been able to overcome that kind of noise, but this dude's been banged up in recent years. You forget that prior to going down with a chest injury last year, he was playing good football for this team. He broke his foot in the preseason of 2022. He was concussed in 2021 for a chunk of that year. He had a strain in his abdomen. You go back to the 2020 season. But when this guy's healthy, Ardarius is a reliable player for you. He's out of TCU. He's got the undrafted chip on his shoulder. And right now, the Ravens are betting on him. They are banking on him to give them some significant stability, let's call it that, on the back end alongside number 14.
They've put their chips in on him for sure. One other thing I want to say about Tre'Davious White. Remember, Bobby, before this game, both you and I could already envision it. Russell Wilson with that moon pass to Pickens, and Stevens doesn't turn his shoulder, and I envisioned it in the end zone.
Yeah.
But Tre'Davious White erased all that. He never allowed that to come to fruition. So the fact that Tre'Davious came out and played well is one thing, but he did it against Pickens. Now, listen, Pickens isn't Jamar Chase. I get that, but Pickens is legit. And to see that with Pickens and Russell Wilson, who's been having chemistry since Wilson came in, like that was just beautiful to watch. Beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and you know who like, and we're about to talk Kyle, of course, because he's the most important piece of this entire puzzle. But year 8 for Marlon Humphrey now, the longest tenured defensive player on this group, and he's having an all-pro year. He's the second interceptions leader with 5 among all defensive players. He's somebody that's acting with a certain level of urgency, it feels like, in his media sessions than we've ever seen. Sometimes he can be that happy-go-lucky, playful, goofy guy that we always talk about, but it kind of comes across as he understands it hasn't been good enough. He's talked about that. He talked about his emotions, of course, on Sunday in Pittsburgh, but more so that this has been unacceptable from a passing defense standpoint. And yet, while it has been unacceptable, he's been more than accepted. This guy has a coverage grade, which is first among all cornerbacks, a PFF statistic that just came down the timeline over here, of 84.1. So as much as these are key pieces that are low-key, what maybe also is low-key is that Marlon's having the bounce-back year that a lot of us heavily anticipated he might be having coming off last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally almost every position we're talking about, from Tre'Davious White, move Kyle Hamilton every single time. Kyle Hamilton.
Derek gets so many shout outs on this show. He better be texting me being like, can you tell your co-host thank you for all the shout outs?
Seriously. He texts you like every other day, it seems like. Okay, but we're moving across from Tre'Davious to Kyle to Ardarius. Then inside we've got Desmond King. And then, as you pointed out, the resurgent year of Marlon Humphrey. We've already talked about Wiggins. But I want to dig a little bit more into Kyle Hamilton here. Yeah. I got his name covered up. Denard
Melton.
Okay, Denard Melton, who, you may know him from Ravens Flock on Twitter, does the Fire Zone. Anyway, he tweeted yesterday, moving Hamilton to free safety changes everything going forward. They have switched the mindset from front to back to front. It's the Dean Pease effect. You can always add something to the run game if you need it. Spencer Schultz replies, looked so much like Pease's defense on Sunday. And Denard replies one last time. He says, it was McDonald doing the same thing last year. Kind of feel like Orr was trying to bring back Wink/Ryan blitz packages and teams were picking it apart. So he feels like it's more of a return to what McDonald was doing with Pease in here. But Bobby, I loved the communication. It just seemed like everybody was in place. Do you know what I mean? Like there was never a play where like two defenders were like the shrug shoulders emoji, which seems to have been weeks 1 through 11 or weeks 1 through 10. We saw nonstop after a play, after a big game by the opponent. and all of a sudden all the DBs are looking at each other as the shrug emojis. We didn't see that against Pittsburgh. It just felt like with Kyle Hamilton and Ardarius Washington out there, it just seemed like everything was so much more smooth. Everything was so much more smooth. And so I know that we're losing Kyle Hamilton closer to the line of scrimmage, which you talked about yesterday, but the results that we had are infinitely better. And so I am so encouraged by it, but we got to see consistency. We got to see it this week against the Chargers, the following week and the following week to know if it's the real deal. But my goodness, it was the first time since I think the Bills that I felt good about the defensive pass defense performance.
Certainly a sense of calming, and that's what 14 can provide to you. We have 26 contestants thus far, about 28 minutes into the show for our Homage T-shirt giveaway Wednesday that we've been doing for the last month. We're thrilled to be partnering with Homage moving forward this football season. Charisma says, Sarah's repping Purple City Bird Gang. Max writes, the defense gave me faith, #Vault. And a reminder, if you don't have the #Vaults, if you don't have the #Vault written into your super chat, we can't add you into our randomized process of how we give this T-shirt away. So again, you see the pinned comment in the live chat. Those are the instructions. Subscribe to the Vault, like the video, leave a super chat with the #Vault, and explore Ravens gear at Homage by going to homage.com/Sarah and Bobby. More contestants flying in here. Daniel writes, Sarah, looking good in that hoodie. T-Lore says, Tylor. Love you guys. Thanks for all the quick and accurate content. Been listening since the OG Spotify days. #Vault. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll go with TM so I don't botch it more so than I already have. And by the way, we still have audio-only shows available every single day. So I'm glad you've been with us from the jump. Just so you guys, if you're new, the audio-only space, every single time we repurpose this live stream, and it's available to you across all audio platforms. Mike says, I want to see the new look secondary against an explosive offense. The Steelers' offense is not a good litmus test. #Vault.
Fair.
Nash Flock Dave says, does anyone else think the MVP is a curse for Lamar? 19 and 23 MVPs, no Super Bowl. Both years had really good teams. Give it to Allen if that's the case. Asmodeus, I think this is a couple.
I don't believe in curses.
Richard's trying to get himself involved here solely based on amount of chats. He likes the percentage here. #McChickens. Sudesh says Ravens going to be all right. 5-1 in the next 6. #Vault. Asmodeus throws in another one. Wish we could sign on a new head coach too. Pen 15 Shaft says Sarah's showing us that purple still reigns. #Vault. Justin Holt says Wiggins deserves more snaps. Travis says King in the slot. I think it's a good pick. Desmond King, that is. Asmodeus with his 4th or 5th wants to know if we do chat mods. We do not. We moderated ourselves to the best of our ability. Mike says Wiggins' size hasn't been a concern so far. His slender frame was certainly talked about a lot. Richard says Bobby and I earned that short people club.
Wait how tall is he?
Wait a second. I think he's shorter than me. I'm 5'8". Richard, okay. Are you like 5'6", 5'7"? I don't mean to slight you.
What are you going to push back on here then?
Well, if you look at the average male size in the globe, 5'8" is not short.
What about in the United States?
It's very average.
Well, in the globe.
Oh, I don't.
What about the United States?
Okay, hold on. Okay. Average.
Because there's some. Somebody says it's 5'6". That is the short.
In America, let's see. Ooh, you're right. The average height of an adult American is 5'9" in the U.S. Okay. Average height. I could be 5'9"
instead of calling you
day,
short, should we call you below average? Which one sounds better?
Average height in the world. Average male height. This is what you do. You got me doing this right now. Average male height in the world. 5'7".
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some countries out there with some. Listen, like I served my church mission in Portugal. Okay, and like the Portuguese men, I was towering over many of them.
I bet.
Like I went to Japan what was it 2 years ago? I was towering over many of them. Some countries just have shorter populations.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
depending on what dating app it is, I could be 5'9" on a good day. You never know. Alglin says #Vault. Richard is just throwing him in.
Yeah, he is.
He wants this T-shirt today, I think. I was sleeping on TW. Great trade, referring to Tre'Davious White.
I think a lot of us are sleeping on that. Quite frankly, who was gonna put their foot down and be like, "This is it"?
Small sample size. We'll see what happens. Gene says, "If not a Raven, you're not a Raven until you beat Pittsburgh." All right, let's see. If not a Raven till you beat Pittsburgh, who's is
at
ATP?
This point? Yeah. So Tucker. Lamar has beaten him once. So whoever's been with Lamar since that one time. But there's a lot of non-Ravens walking around the building right now.
The new ones. Yeah. Epi says #Vault. Hamilton and Washington will be a top 5 duo. Richard again says Sarah messing up your name is a badge of honor. E-Man Watts says #Vault, enters himself into today's giveaway. Sherry, who I met on Sunday, she came to my pregame show, which was very kind of her with her husband, says now if only they both can be great together. Nash Flock Dave says #Vault. Juicebox J84 says Josh Allen, 9 for 30, 131 passing yards, ain't MVP worthy. #Vault. Was that against the Ravens on Sunday Night Football? I can't remember where those numbers are. Sit to Lee says, thank you for the amazing content. #Vault. Richard says, let's raise that percentage. No way. DJ says Chargers will be a great test for the defense. Jang says Harbaugh is a must-see TV. Let's go Ravens. It's coming up Monday night. Robbie says every game is a must-win now. And Devon says, or Davin, I'm going to go with Devon. What are you going to do?
Devon, sure.
Yeah, Devon. I'm looking forward to the offense giving Henry the ball more. 100 yards plus usually equals a win so far. Let's go Flock. 35 of you kind enough to enter yourselves into today's homage T-shirt giveaway. Before we get to Big Ben, anything you want to say?
Yeah, just real quick. Appreciate your non-super chat comments. Please do not use #Vault unless it's a super tag. So if you could, or a super chat, if you could delete those, or I will delete it just so that they don't get mixed up with the super chats.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's been retired for a few years now after a storied career with the Pittsburgh Steelers and, of course, a Super Bowl title to go along with it. These two on the screen have a little bit of a connection, right? The Miami of Ohio connection.
Yeah.
And Big Ben, while referencing that and while also showing some respect off the top of the clip that we're about to share from his new podcast, or I guess it's not new, but his weekly podcast that he does, he gave love to Harbaugh, but at the same time wanted to weigh in on this whole Tomlin versus Harbaugh, and of course Mike having John's number in recent years. Here's Big Ben.
Like pinpoint why. I would just say that, and I want to say this with all due respect, right? When you say it with all due respect, I think you can say anything you want.
Really?
I think
Anything?
So I think people in the South.
Okay. Are we going to adopt that rule? Are we going to adopt
that's
that rule?
hysterical. It's so true. People act as if that's true. I found
with
that to be hysterical.
With all due respect, and then you can say whatever, like you can say the meanest thing ever. Kids really do that, but they go like, and bless his heart. That's like what my grandma used to say. Sorry. Had to pause it there because that was funny.
Yes.
That was funny, Big Ben. Okay, here we go.
I feel that way.
Oh, well, let me get my notes.
Literally say either bless their heart or with all due respect.
With all due respect, sir.
I'm going to say this because I appreciate this guy. I think he's a really, really good coach. He's a Miami, Ohio guy.
Hey.
But to be honest, I really think that Mike Tomlin's cooking in Harbaugh's kitchen. He's all in that. He's all up in here. Brownies. He's Chef Evan up there.
Oh.
He's Chef Evan up in the kitchen.
Wow, good for you,
Just
Coach
cooking.
T.
For the audio-only audience, as he says he's all up in here, he's pointing towards his head, so that inferring that Harbaugh has Tomlin in his head.
No, I think that Tomlin's out coaching him. And it's not just Tomlin, it's not just head and head, but taking the time out before the 2-point conversion at the end of the game to see what they're in, and then I just think that the way that Coach Belichick used to out-coach certain teams, it feels like that's what we're doing to them. We're just out-coaching them.
All right, Sarah. So 8 of the last 9, as we've covered at nauseum this week, has been advantage Pittsburgh. There is obviously context that goes into those.
Yes. Which
Every
we've
single
covered.
one.
Yes.
We have covered it time and time again. We covered Rex Ryan. We covered Dominique Foxworth. We covered just about every angle you could. And then Big Ben's show pops up late last night. And I did want to shout out one of our subscribers and somebody who follows both of us on Twitter who was kind enough to actually send this to me. It's BlueZBro #3 on Twitter at Country Boy Sigma. Not sure what all that is, but he
I was
kind
wondering
enough,
if you were watching his show every week, but that's cool. You got tagged. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, you and I always ask for it.
Yep.
Yeah, you and I always ask for it this time of year because there's just a plethora of content and we can't get to all of it. And so the fact that folks DM us, email us, and just give us a shout out for when things are consumed that we may want to react to is super helpful. You heard Big Ben. To be honest, I really think that Mike Tomlin's cooking in Harbaugh's kitchen. He's all up in his head. I think Tomlin's out coaching him. The way that Coach Belichick used to outcoach certain teams, it feels like that's what we're doing to them. We're just out coaching them. And Sarah, there's been obviously this is garnering a decent amount of traction online right now. This fan base is running hot this week, deservedly so. It's tough loss. We know, as we've covered this week, that there were a lot of miscues outside of Harbaugh that went into this specific loss.
Right.
But we also know there's been a growing frustration, a level of frustration around Harbaugh for years now.
Yeah, like Ben said out loud what everybody's kind of been inferring. You know what I mean? Like we had some quotes from Get Up yesterday on ESPN. We've had people just kind of saying, "Hey, Tomlin did really well. Like he used the timeouts well. He kept exchanging his quarterbacks well." And we've been talking about, their record now against the Ravens is 8-1 in the last 9. Ravens are 1-8. And so absolutely, if you wanted to, you could stick up for Harbaugh, especially with this last game, and say, well, Harbaugh shouldn't have to tell somebody like Derrick Henry not to fumble the ball, or Harbaugh shouldn't tell Isaiah Likely to hold on to the ball, or Harbaugh shouldn't have to tell McCary and left tackle Ronnie Stanley not to hold or be an ineligible. You know what I mean? So you could say all that because those are all veterans. They know those things. And all of that is true. But at the end of the day, the Ravens were in a position to tie the game. And that is when Mike Tomlin stepped up. Right? That is where the Steelers coach outcoached the Ravens coach. Despite everything we just named, and you could say, well, they shouldn't have even been put in that position with those turnovers and penalties and yada, yada, yada. And, you can blame Harbaugh for not having the team disciplined, all that kind of stuff. But you can make those excuses because the Ravens overcame it. They overcame poor execution. But when it mattered with a minute left, Tomlin stepped in. He stepped in. And with all the context in the world over the last several games that the Ravens have lost, the Steelers have been more physical. And Tomlin has known, I know what's going to happen when you guys are pressure. You guys are going to come with the blitz when you know what I mean? The Peterson quote I talked about yesterday. That Peterson said Tomlin came in and said, hey, when the house is when things are getting tight, he's going to send the house. And what do you know? He did just that.
He's going to burn the house down. He goes, I'll be darned. The quote is unreal. It's going to age really interestingly.
What is it exactly?
He was essentially like, talking about what Tomlin was telling the team prior to Ravens Steelers last year. This is Patrick Peterson, who spent 2023 in Pittsburgh. And he's like, when the going gets tougher, to your point, it was something along those lines. Get ready for it. He's going to burn the house down. And he goes, sure enough, he did exactly that in one of the 2 games last year.
Yeah. And so, Bobby, if it were like the Ravens came and it was like back and forth and the Ravens were physical and they were doing everything right, and then there was a turnover by like one person and that's what caused it, and it's like, okay, it's not Harbaugh's fault. But the fact that it's like Tucker and the penalties and the turnovers and missing Henry on the last play and the timeouts and all of that, then it becomes like when so many things are melting down, you have to look at the head coach. And so Ben Roethlisberger just came out and said it in a way that hits home.
Oh, that's not all he said either.
Oh, he's got more.
He likes to talk a whole lot of junk, as we know. For those of you who are the OG fans, or at least have been around for the last decade plus following this team, this storied rivalry, Big Ben can talk with the best of them. And he's also tough as nails. But Sarah, in his professional way now, in this podcasting realm, he's still found a way to get after the Ravens a little bit when it comes to Pittsburgh's theme song. We all know it. We've all heard it. We all know the significance of it. Renegade. Listen to this claim from Big Ben.
First team that I ever saw when I was playing that when that song came on, it was like like Harbaugh and them. They I know they did this. They would play it at practice sometimes. When it came on, they would reverse psychology. Like, hey guys, when they play Renegade, let's use this as a hype video for us. Like, let's get excited. So I remember when it would come on, their guys would get on the bench and start like getting hyped, like it was their hype song.
Yeah.
And I think what it's doing is that's all in the game. It's all in the psyche. It's all in the sticks. It's something. It's just the more the cooking in the kitchen, and Baltimore can't handle it.
Ooh. Oh, please play that on replay. Like, I hope John Harbaugh is hearing this. It's the same thing like when people are disrespecting Lamar, right? And Lamar, the blueprint is out. Or Lamar, like, yeah, he can run, but he can't throw. So then he can throw. Oh, okay, he can throw, but he can't handle the blitz. So he handles the blitz. Oh, well, now Lamar can't overcome, Pittsburgh and KC. And up to that point, it's true. But Lamar can overcome it. And so send this, text this to your head coach. Let him see it. I guarantee he's going to hear it. I guarantee he will. And I know John Harbaugh, he's as competitive as every single man on that 53-man roster, if not more. Let him hear it. Let him hear it that, you know what? You're thinking about becoming a Hall of Fame coach, but look at what they're saying about you, that Tomlin's got your number, that he's cooking in your kitchen. And I want him to hear it. I want it to light a fire because I think it will.
All right. We're about 10 to 15 minutes away from our homage randomized t-shirt giveaway. And so it's a great time to show you while Sarah's rocking her purple jumpsuit today. That's not the only merch items that are available at homage.com. You see right now they're getting ready to debut tomorrow. That's Thursday the 21st. NFL holiday crew necks in the ugly sweater style is the theme for obvious reasons, Sarah. And so the Ravens, you see there on the right-hand side of the screen, that is their edition of the ugly sweater style. There is also their first ever X-Men collection that's launching on the 21st. You've got a whole entire holiday cheer collection. The MLS Cup playoffs, for those of you who are into Major League Soccer, they're in the conference semifinals right now. So they have an entire MLS collection. So again, we're just, there's so many different Ravens gear options on Homage, but there's a lot more than just Ravens football. And so let me take you to the site. Again, we have 43 contestants so far. We're about 15 minutes out from this free giveaway. You can enter yourself in right now by doing the following, as you see in the live chat as a pinned comment. To be eligible for the free Homage t-shirt giveaway, subscribe to the Vault, like this video, leave a super chat with the hashtag Vault, and click on the link that we have included in the comment section as a pinned comment. So again, let me take you over to the site here quickly and show you what if you click on that link that we have, homage.com/Sarah and Bobby, it'll take you to the general Ravens gear site. You've got these crew necks that Sarah and I have worn before. This is really similar, if not the same exact sweatshirt that you're wearing right now. Okay.
Yep.
And then the t-shirts, again, if you win, these are the t-shirts that you can literally pop up onto this site and send us in the email. This is the one we want. This is the one we want. So again, there's a ton of different options here. Let me take you quickly over to the holiday cheer section as well while we're at it. This has literally just been populated. So again, it's not, there's nothing Raven centric right here, but if you're in the holiday spirit.
Yeah, there you go.
Look what you did, you little jerk. What's that one from, guys?
Home Alone. That's where Wolf came from.
I cannot wait. Yeah, exactly.
Your
Literally.
girlfriend. Wolf.
Oh my God. That is a timeless movie. Look what you did, you little jerk.
I need that.
Anyway, that is just a couple of the many.
Kevin, that's going to be my next request over to
right?
Ahmed. Look what
Literally.
you did, little jerk. Yeah.
Literally. So lots of great things going on at Homage. We're thrilled to be partnering with them, and we just skyrocketed up to 48 contestants thus far as we close in on the deadline to submit a super chat. Sam Pate says, can't wait for the Jim Harbaugh coverage, #Vault. D-Rod entering himself in with the hashtag. Richard says, when the Ravens beat the Steelers, they'll be unstoppable. Travis says, we continue to beat ourselves in tough games. It's so frustrating we lose our identity. C says, John needs to be salty. I think that's what you want.
We want salty
Justin
John.
said,
hey, he's got the t-shirt already. Put it on, coach.
He does. Justin says, if no Roquan, I like Chris Board over Malik at middle linebacker. Travis says, I watch you guys every day. Great content. C says, I agree. Tomlin is living in Harbaugh's head rent-free. It happens too many times. Jackie says, this is a nice note. Jackie says, love you guys. Keep up the good work. You make the win sweeter and the losses less painful. That's awesome. Dre Dog says, Desmond King will play Kyle's role at the line in the box to complete the defense. I'm 6'1", 215. Okay, checking in. Dre checking in, weighing himself. Love it.
There we go.
Oh, what an all-time botch job by me. Tylor says it's Tyler, Bobby. Get a life. But I appreciate it. I'm here on time for the lunch hour stream every day. I would miss it. Well, sorry about that, Tyler. I will be ready to go next time around. That's insane. I haven't screwed up one like that in a long time. Asmodeus says, since last week. Yeah. Ben used.
Bless your heart. Ben used bless your heart correctly and is right.
Okay. Tila entering in. What's up, Tila? And we are fully caught up on Super Chats as my mind glitches. Oh, there's more. Gene says, all the mistakes and only lost by 2. Still. Jay Miller says, Sarah's faith in Harbaugh never ceases to amaze.
Hey, now, hold on a second. Let's just stay here on this for just a second.
I knew you would.
Yeah. Jay Miller, would you agree, though? Would you agree? We've been calling balls and strikes with Harbaugh. So I do have faith, 100%. I have faith. But despite my faith, we've been calling balls and strikes. And Harbaugh would want nothing less because he calls balls and strikes. Faith, you're not going to see me calling out the demise of future Hall of Famers. Like, it's all going to come to an end at some point for everybody. But do I have faith that he can? Yeah, I do have faith. But that doesn't mean we're not calling balls and strikes. Am I right?
Richard says, I think that's totally fair. I've been screaming from the rooftop within the last couple of months. Just hire Jerry Rossberg to help out with game management. Just do it.
You have been calling that. And they were close, apparently.
And they were close. And then you and I sat down with an NFL insider and when we were out in Vegas, and for whatever reason, it went south. That's Richard says, I always say that to my 1-year-old, #Vault.
Your little trick to your 1-year-old.
The Home Alone quote.
Yeah.
Jang says, I'm going to lose it if we get swept by the Steelers.
Nah.
Simplicity getting ready for Monday night. Harbaugh Bowl. Here we go. Go Ravens. By the way, the media schedule is a little bit different. There's no podium today. There's open locker room. Right. So Lamar and Harbaugh will not be until Thursday. So just mark your calendars accordingly on that one and hope for a busy open locker room day today. Okay.
What you got on Tucker? Stover and Tucker. What's up here?
We mentioned it briefly yesterday, just in passing, because Glenn Clark was interviewing Matt Stover, Ravens Ring of Honor member, former kicker, literally kicked until he was like 42. I listened to Glenn's full episode. You can do the same at Pressbox, which is the platform that Glenn does his daily radio show on. And Matt, of course, was one of the best, and certainly is somebody that knows a thing or two about, well, maybe not a slump to the point where Justin is right now, because he's in a little bit of a funk, but he can speak to what's going on. 3 clips for you. The first Is Justin Tucker done?
No. And the reason is physically he can kill just, oh my gosh, the 56-yarder that he hit.
54.
I mean, my gosh, right? He just crushed it. His kickoffs were great. And he's just got a little pull on his ball, and that's just a little technique for him. Could be a little emotional issue going out because, you know, he can be perfect out in practice, perfect in pregame, and then you get out there and your heart rate increases about 100%. You go from, you know, a 60 standing heart rate to 120 real quick, you know, to 140 real quick. And you have to that's never easy. It's always hard. And knowing the type of competitor he is, he's not done. And the fact that he manages himself so well, if you notice that he's never missed a game, he's been healthy.
Wow.
That's hard to do. Look at Butker. I mean, look at a lot of these kickers. They're going down with quads and hips, not Tucker. And that's because he knows how to manage himself with his kicking. And Randy Brown and the team, he knows what it takes physically to be fresh. And so he'll get through this. I know that he's strong. I know that emotionally he wants it. He wants the ball. He's not going to run from it. And it's happened to me. It really has. So, you know, I would say this. Just take the next kick, hit it easy. You don't have to hit it hard, and just want the ball. And I know Tucker, he'll get through it.
Matt Stover, Ravens Ring of Honor member, somebody that kicked it at an elite level for a long time in Baltimore, won a Super Bowl, of course, with this team in the 2000 season with Brian Billick and company. How about the operation? It always takes an entire team to put one through the uprights, as Justin has said his entire career. And we know that Nick Moore is the long snapper. Jordan Stout is the placeholder. He's also the punter for this team. Randy Brown is the coach. Chris Horton is the special teams coordinator. It takes every single one of them. There has been plenty of chatter about Jordan Stout being the issue. Isaac Punts thought so, NFL punting analyst on YouTube. We shared that clip earlier on within the last couple of weeks. Matt Stover's watched a good amount of the operation itself and had this to say in terms of whether or not there's anything that's setting Justin back.
No, if you look at the snapper there, he's so good. I mean, he snaps over the spot. So let me put things in perspective.
Please.
If the ball is snapped over the spot, the kicker never loses sight of the ball. He's not necessarily seeing it, but he sees it, feels it in his peripheral as he's going to the ball. If the ball snapped inside, meaning to the right shoulder of the holder, he loses it. It takes longer for the holder to catch it, bring it from his right shoulder all the way down to the spot. It's a whole lot longer. This, I think Nick's the guy's name, right?
Yeah, Nick Moore. Yep.
He snaps the ball over the spot, laces in front, and the holder sets it right down. Talking about, oh my goodness. So I don't believe that's the case. It would be one thing if I was watching and they were inconsistent with that. They are not. I would say 95% of the time the snapper and holder execute extremely well. It's just Justin out there's got some stuff going on, and he just needs to relax and just trust in himself because he's one of the best kickers to ever do it. And I'm going to say it again, it's hard to kick a ball. He's made it look easy. I made it look easy. Even Cundiff made it. He was a Pro Bowler here, if you recall. Yep. And so it's not easy. It's hard, and it's tough to get yourself mentally, emotionally ready. I believe he's capable. You don't hit a 56-yarder and don't hit touchbacks unless you have the physical ability. You just don't. He's doing plenty of that.
And Sarah, one more as well, just on the topic of did the Ravens bring in competition? John Harbaugh denied that when he was asked about it earlier on during his Monday press conference this week. Matt Stover's thoughts on that?
Come in and have a guy come in right now during the season. Do you realize how hard it is to come into the middle of the season? It's like and kick at a high level. It's so hard because you haven't had the reps. And it's like asking a golfer to go play in a Masters before he's had any practice rounds and tournaments. It's just good luck. I mean, you might get lucky and be able to do it, but it's really, really difficult. So I would say, man, Tucker's one of the best. He's just got to get through this. He's got to fight and trust in himself, trust in the guys in front of him, and know that he's going to get it done. And, if I'm Harbaugh, that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, Bobby, between that and Jeff Zrebiec's reporting, so this morning he wrote a long article about slump that Justin Tucker's in right now. And he also addressed the operation. Jeff writes, there's been plenty of speculation about whether his issues are being caused by snapping and or holding problems, but Tucker and others at the Ravens facility have continued to say that snapper Nick Moore and holder Jordan Stout, who aren't new at this or to the team, that they're doing their jobs. Stout has been holding for Tucker for 3 seasons. 3. And Moore has been in the Ravens organization since 2020. The kicking battery and coaching staff have an established routine that has yielded very strong results for many years. And if that wasn't strong enough between what Stover said and what Jeff Zrebiec reported, some people came back at Jeff on Twitter. And they're like, no, it is the holder. It is the holder. And Jeff says, I find it hilarious that fans on the internet believe they have determined what the true cause of Tucker's issues are and not the kicking guru on the coaching staff, Tucker's former holder on the coaching staff, and Tucker himself. So Jeff's saying, I understand the question. That's why I went and asked it. I went and asked Cook, who used to hold for him for years. I went and asked Randy Brown, who's been working with him for years. I went and asked Tucker. Jeff's gone in. He's done the reporting. Everybody inside the building is telling Jeff that the operation is fine. Everybody. Now Stover's saying it as like a kind of outsider, right? Just based off of his expertise as a kicker for almost 2 decades in the NFL. And then so they still come back at Jeff and they're saying, well, you guys are pushing a narrative that it must be that Tucker's done. And Jeff says, no, nobody's pushing a narrative. You don't think I've asked people in the building and other people who know a heck of a lot more about kicking than you or I about whether holding is the problem? You don't think Harbaugh, Tucker, and Horton have been asked about that? So, Bobby, I'm at the point before I didn't know because I'm not a kicking expert. So I was open to the idea, is it the operation? And that doesn't mean that the operation can't screw up once or twice going forward. But Tucker's missed 7 kicks in 11 games. And based off of all the reporting I'm hearing coming from inside the building, based off of what Harbaugh is saying at the press conference, which is repeatedly, he's just got to kick it straight, based off of what Matt Stover is seeing himself, I'm feeling comfortable of saying it's not the operation. Okay. But I'm also still comfortable. Stover had told Jeff Zrebiec, because Jeff also called him, Stover saying it's a good thing that it's continually missing left because it points to the fact that it's a fixable issue. Okay. And as great as Stover was himself, he talked about how in 1999, remember he came over from the Browns. So I can't remember when his career started, but he was with the Ravens from 1996 to 2008. He started with the Browns earlier. We think of him. We know he's in the Ring of Honor. Okay. In 1999, the Ravens claimed Joe Needney off of waivers and didn't just sign him to like the practice squad. He was on the 53-man roster with Stover because of a slump he was going through. This is in 99. He continued to kick until 2008. Prior to Sunday, Justin Tucker was still the most accurate kicker in the history of the NFL until Sunday. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm fine. It's not the operation. I think I've made my conclusion there. It's not the operation. I've been feeling, and Stover just confirmed it, it's not that he's losing power in his leg. He kicked that 54-yarder right down the middle. He's getting the touchbacks. That doesn't seem to be the problem. What if it really is as simple as what John Harbaugh keeps saying? He's just got to kick it straight. And what Stover's saying, he's got to get out of the slump. Now, again, he wasn't as perfect last year as he has been in the years past. So maybe there's a little bit of wear and tear coming there, but not to this extent that we're seeing right now where you missed 7 in the last 11. So hopefully we see a Stover resurgence where the Ravens signed somebody to the 53-man roster and then Stover went on to kick for almost 10 more years. Here
are the numbers, just to be clear. Through 11 weeks this year, 16 of 22. That's a 72.7% make rate for Justin. He's 38 for 39 in terms of PATs. His long is 56. He's 3 of 7, though, from 50+, including that 54-yarder on Sunday in Pittsburgh after missing from 47 and 50. He's 4 for 6 between 40 and 49, and perfect between 30 and 39, and 20 and 29. And then last year, just to be even more thorough, he was 51 for 52 in PATs, 32 of 37 in all. That's a make percentage of 86.5. But again, to your point, struggled from 50 plus, 1 for 5, was 11 for 12 from 40 to 49, and perfect in the previous 2 categories as well, 30 to 39 and 20 to 29. There's also chatter in the Pittsburgh side of things about something that he said during his post-game press conference, which is absolutely completely overblown. We're going to tell you why in just a second. Adam Crowley tweeted out that Justin was complaining about the playing surface on the same day. On the same day the other guy goes 6 for 6. That's Chris Boswell. By the way, right before we started the show, he was named AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Easiest decision they've ever made as a group, whoever puts that together, because he went 6 for 6 and literally was the reason. Well, there were other reasons why Pittsburgh won that game, but from a Steelers perspective, he led the way from a points standpoint. The day prior, Pittsburgh football at the college level played at Acrisure. The field looked noticeably worn down. Justin had this to say about it.
And then taking it one kick at a time. There was a game here yesterday too. Was the surface an issue at all? I wouldn't say the surface was an issue, but it wasn't ideal. That's something that we make it a point to account for by going out there in pregame warm-ups and getting our feet under us, figuring out what the wind may be doing. But we've dealt with that plenty of times here, elsewhere, at home. And then throughout the course of the game, the most action takes place in between the ashes, and it naturally just gets chewed up.
Sarah, does that sound somebody like that's complaining or BSing?
Or what's a good
I couldn't figure out how to say it, so I just said complaining. Does that sound
witching, but it starts with the B? So,
does that sound like somebody who's complaining?
No, it sounds like somebody who answered a question that asked about the surface, and he said it's not ideal, but it wasn't the issue. We've dealt with it before. No, he was answering a question, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
But let's stay petty, Pittsburgh. Stay petty. Hard Knocks. Mark your calendars accordingly. December 3rd, the HBO original series, AFC North edition, premieres on Max. Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. I was thinking, why is Cleveland even included? But then I thought to myself, Cleveland may actually be the most entertaining because of how dysfunctional it's been this year alone. So we'll see.
Yeah.
December 3rd, Sarah, coming up right around the corner.
I can't wait for this. I cannot wait for this. I hope that they don't cut all the good stuff out. I know that there's going to be some stuff that don't make it to the public, but I hope that they put in quite a good stuff. And I need the Ravens to be winning. Then this will be even more delicious if the Ravens can be winning during this time.
See what happens. Some head coaching buzz, lots of hiring cycle changes right now at the collegiate level. Adam Schefter tweeting out earlier today that Ray Lewis has emerged as a candidate to become the next head coach at Florida Atlantic University. Matt Zenitz, for whatever it's worth, followed up on this chatter and reported that there's been no direct communication between Ray and the school at this point, and it's highly likely that FAU ends up hiring him as head coach. But at the very least, Sarah, there's some chatter here about Ray potentially getting into coaching, and with Deion Sanders kind of providing that blueprint of what it's like at the collegiate level. And he's talk about a lot of attention around Deion right now, potentially leaving Colorado. He has built that place into I guess you could say powerhouse in a sense, especially when it comes to the coverage that they've brought in there. But I wonder if Deion's on the move.
Well, real quick, we have a source off here. These are not small differences. In reporting, Adam Schefter is saying he's emerged as a candidate, and Matt's they haven't even spoken. So yeah. I don't understand how they can be so far apart. So we got Matt Zenitz. If you remember, he was at the Baltimore Sun. He started here. He's been everywhere. He's moved around. Okay. It might have been before your time, Bobby. Do you remember?
I don't remember that name. No, yeah. I don't remember that name.
He was here at the Sun. So source off there. But speaking of Deion, this was hilarious. I have to play this. Deion was asked about, the speculation that he could coach in the NFL, speculation that he may try to control where his son goes, who very well could be the first overall quarterback taken. Could they be a package deal? Yada, yada, yada. So they ask Prime. One Deion Sanders at a Colorado presser. His answer's hilarious.
That with my AD in here? That's so disrespectful. You gonna talk about me going somewhere with my AD in here? Like, I'm happy where I am, man. I'm good. I got a kickstand down. You know what a kickstand is? A lot of people don't in there and not of age don't know what a kickstand is. That means I'm resting. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic about where I am. I love it here. I truly do. Next question.
This guy, I'm telling you, man, he is such a lightning rod.
But that's like perfect. Like that just lets you know, because he is so old school, and players would in the NFL would respect him for sure. And but that would also appeal to an owner, where it's like he knows the game he's playing. He wants to let owners know that I'm going to say the right things in the public, and I'm going to make sure people know that I have a boss and that I answer to you. Now, in real life, Deion can go wherever he wants. He could have said, "Oh, I'm thinking about it," and the DA would probably be like, "No, please stay." I keep saying DA, it's AD. They could be begging him to stay, give him more money. What?
Mike's comment. He said that his last year at Jackson State too. Exactly.
So the reality of the situation is that he can do whatever he wants. Okay. But in public, he's going to say the right things. And I'm sure that would appeal to an owner that's like, look at him give his boss some love. Make sure that, it's like he was convincing, but not convincing at all. Like his words were convincing, but we're not convinced at all because of
would be absolutely wild to see he and Shador both go to the NFL together. that would be insane.
It would be insane. Like we talked about how insane it was that two brothers, matched up in the Super Bowl with the Harbaugh brothers. Like this is like even another level.
Oh, and you get the sense that one way or another, Shador's going to the NFL. He is a highly touted, highly rated quarterback prospect. And could Deion return? We'll have to see. Let's do our final. We got a couple quick hits left here. Let's do our final call. Final call. Thank you for today's homage T-shirt giveaway. If you want to enter yourself in, you have a couple more minutes to do so. We've got 63 contestants so far. Well, there's a lot of duplicates in there, but we have 63 super chats that we will randomly use a process to select the winner for. Go to the live chat. There's a pinned comment. The instructions are there. Final call. We're getting down to the final call here for the 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame candidates. And the 25 modern era player semifinalists have officially been narrowed down and selected. And look at the two who made another cut, Sarah. Sizzle and Marshall Yanda. Top 25.
Didn't a few more former Ravens make the cut?
Did they?
I want to say Anquan Bolden.
You know what? I'm sorry. I switched your graphic out because the Ravens put up a nice one, and I wanted to include it. But let me go see if I can find the original.
I got it. Bolden, Steve Smith, obviously Suggs and Marshall that we have here, and Earl Thomas all made the cut.
Okay. Top 25.
But Nada.
No Haloti.
No, Nada got Nada. I tried.
Yep.
He did not make the cut. Haloti did not make the cut. Boom! Got it.
Oh, look at you go now.
Haloti did not make the cut.
You are stacking. By the way, the next step is going to be cut to 15 finalists later this year.
That's right.
That's the next step. So far, first year of eligibility. Good stuff for Sizzle and Yanda.
Chat does not want to claim Earl Thomas.
Of course they don't, especially after last week's interview with Josina.
Tila, the size of my hoodie is a medium. I'm 5'10", about 140, just for if you're looking to buy a size. 5'10", 140. Okay.
All right.
This is hilarious.
Surprise me.
This is hilarious. Okay. So the Pat McAfee show, they always do a hashtag I don't want to overreact, but kind of segment. Okay. So you may have seen at Ratty Bo, Free Lamar Jackson. He's
going off.
So he's going off. He's like, I don't want to overreact, but John Harbaugh has to go. Gets out class year in year out against Mike Tomlin. Same lame arse excuses after every loss. Oh, and I forgot to mention Justin Tucker is washed. Time to take old Yeller behind the shed and put him out of his misery. So that is your classic overreaction. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I was listening to it and I was watching them read it and this and that. And then they start talking about, well, everybody at Pat McAfee's show was still like, well, I still like the Ravens. Like, I'm not giving up on them, yada, yada, yada. They got other issues than Tucker and John. And they start talking about the penalties. And then they start talking about the 2-point conversion. Okay. This ending cracks me up. I'm going to give you no further explanation, but here you go.
Okay.
From, so I can give credit to Derrick Henry not on the field. Who'd that come from there? Forget it. They probably just stole it from the NFL anyway. All right, let's go. Sarah Ellison, great work, Sarah. Way to find it.
Tucker did make a
dragging you. Are you kidding me?
He unknowingly, because he didn't know who it was. Like, by the way, I spliced that together. He had asked a few times, like, who is that from? They just grabbed that from my Twitter, obviously. He's like, oh, never mind. They probably stole it from the NFL anyway. And then here I come, the thief. Sarah Ellison comes up on screen.
Oh, man.
And it was such a, like, fake clap. Oh, good job, Sarah.
Hey.
But a very different shout out from the last one when Ian Rappaport was on there. I'll tell you that much.
I was going to say, Pat's mentioned your name a couple times. And I mean, not like he has anything going on in his life that he wouldn't remember, right? But
yeah.
That's great. That was first time watching that one. You surprised me on that one. I had not seen that. But hey, good publicity.
Right? Sometimes you think that my stuff that I think is funny is not funny, but that was where does that lie on your funny scale?
Well, I think any publicity is great publicity. So
that's not what
good
I
on
asked
you.
you. That's not what I asked you.
Oh, do I think that they?
Did you think it was funny?
Yeah. I think that was. I thought that was funny. Not laugh out loud funny, but I thought it was funny.
I was laughing out loud, probably because it was me.
Chat, were you laughing out loud? Were you scoffing? Were you upset at Pat for dragging our girl? Like what?
I see an LMAO. That's another level.
Oh.
Funny scale 9.
Evan, yes. The deadline's now. Let's go. Get it in. He wants to know, do I still have time to drop in a chat? Super chat.
Sherry is just like a little funny. Okay, Sherry. Sherry's hard to share.
See, Sherry and I are on that same. Sherry and I are on that same vibe.
Oh, you know what? You and Sherry, just go back to your little pregame show at your tailgate.
That's right.
And go and have your straight faces together and have no fun. You and Sherry.
Sherry and I are tight.
By the way, I love you, Sherry. Bobby, you I don't love.
Meanwhile, Richard is just making sure that this is his T-shirt today. He just dropped in 3 super chats within a 10-minute period.
He could have just paid for a T-shirt but we appreciate the support.
Yeah. Richard says, Sarah, with your height, likely is a better free safety than Marcus Williams. Sarah, with your height, you're likely a better free safety than Marcus Williams.
No, I'm not so fast.
He also says, ew, Earl Thomas. He also says, can Ray become our new head coach? Captain Hard says, Bengals most interesting for Hard Knocks. Milo says Tucker will be clutch again this season. Captain says, where does he rank compared to other kickers this season? Big O says the GOAT will get back on track. Book it. Justin says Kelsey snatched Justin Tucker's soul last year.
Boo.
Milo says,
is that where it started? Is that where
there are a lot of people that believe that? I've seen that out there.
Gosh, it's like the Johnny tweet. We're gonna do this one now. Although this one has more merit than a Johnny tweet.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that believe that.
Yeah.
Let's go. Ravens win out the rest of the year from Milo. KG says it's simple. It's checkers versus chess. Henry says if the Steelers are Lamar's kryptonite, then shouldn't that mean Lamar is Cincinnati's kryptonite?
Absolutely.
Milo dropping in a 99 center. Richard says, I always say that to my 1-year-old, which means we are fully caught up on super chats, which means
we're doing this.
Partner, time for our homage t-shirt giveaway. Again, we will have several more of these coming up. The instructions to join, pretty simple. All you had to do was subscribe to the vault, like this video, drop a super chat with the hashtag Vault and hit the link that's included in the show notes, which is our unique URL, which takes you to homage.com. If you do those things and you're the winner, let us know.
Okay, here we go.
Wait a second. Evan says,
Evan's in.
Hashtag Vault. This team has enough talent to beat teams that are decent with average coaching. But when we face the great coaches, we are consistently outsmarted. Any game that comes down to game management, we lose. And Sarah, it is your time.
Right,
66 participants today with several
39
duplicates.
official entries with the hashtag. That's how many people didn't put in the hashtag. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hit the button. There we go. Who's it going to be? Oh, I saw Sherry in there.
Okay.
Osmodius had a lot in there.
Will Richard's bet pay off?
Alan. E-Man Watts. What did E-Man say? Find it, Bobby.
All right.
I'm terrible at finding him.
I got it.
What? You got it?
Got it.
Of course you do.
And guess what? Sometimes simple is as simple does.
Is it just a hashtag?
Vault. E-Man.
Oh.
I kind of love that. This is the beauty of it. Let's go.
Oh, man. E-Man. So what does E-Man got to do? He's got to email us. E-Man's got to email us.
So E-Man's got to email us. I found that to be funny from you. E-Man.
That's funny. That was funny. Now I know that you are not the litmus test for what's funny. Okay, go ahead.
BaltimoreRavensVault at gmail.com. E-Man is how you can hit us up. If you show us that you subscribed, that you like this video, we know that you have your super chat, so you're good on that. And send us a screenshot that you went to visit homage.com, which is, again, the unique URL link that we have included as a pinned comment. It's also in the top of the show notes below. You do those things along with your T-shirt and the size of your T-shirt.
Yeah, we need.
You're in business, my friend, and we'll be able to pass that off.
And your address of where you want it mailed.
Thank you.
There's a lot of things in there.
So in other news, E-Man, we need your T-shirt size, the T-shirt of your choice, and a good shipping address.
Yeah. Do you feel like can you check in with us, Osmodius? Are you punching air right now? Chat needs to know. Because you put in a lot of entries. Oh, here he goes. Not really. I'm good. He's good.
Asmodeus got robbed. Oh, that's so good. This is so good.
Well,
appreciate you guys. That was fun.
E-Man got you, Asmodius.
That was fun.
Yeah.
E-Man, we look forward to hearing from you.
I really do believe he's okay because Osmodius literally supports us every single day with Super Chat.
He's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man. He still wants to go on that double date too. We'll see. All right.
You and him?
I don't know who, maybe Madison's friend. Guess we'll have to see.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Zarotniak and Mark Pankhurst. Thank you both for believing in what we're building. Thank you for the support that you give us as members of the Vault Patreon community. We appreciate you guys. And if you're interested in doing the same out there this football season, it's the bedrock of our channel. It's the bedrock of our community. You can visit patreon.com/Ravens Vault podcast to learn more about how you can support, and you can do so for as little as $1.99. Partner, awesome stuff. Congratulations to E-Man. Look forward to hearing from him via email. And
if you did not win, still go over to Homage. You could, maybe actually just buy one. Or you could get one of these hoodies that I got. The joggers. Did we ever see the joggers on there? I love these joggers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, they just fit so well.
Yep.
All right.
Homage.com/Sarah and Bobby helps us out. Hopefully helps out you guys ahead of the holiday season. They're going to be running some sales as well in the coming days. So look forward to that. We will be back in 23 hours under that for a Thursday Ravens Lunch Hour live stream. Open locker room this afternoon. Harbaugh and Lamar and company Thursday podium. Friday coordinators. Saturday there'll also be additional media. And we're all getting ready, of course, for Week 12, Ravens Chargers, which will be Monday night. The Harbaugh Bowl continues, Chapter 3, and that'll take place in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. We'll have our game preview on Friday at 12:30, and I think that just about does it for us, partner. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And my humor. I know.
I don't appreciate your humor. I think your humor is lame. But I appreciate you. Whoa. People are asking how how tall and how much I weigh. Purple and black. You gave me an extra 9 pounds. Oh, he fixed it, or she fixed it. Thank you.
Nice. All right.
All right.
Well, for Sarah's height and my undersized stature
and your lame sense of humor.
Thank you to Homage, my realist self. Thank you to Homage for continuing to support us on these giveaway Wednesdays. We think it's a cool wrinkle of the show. We hope you do as well. Congratulations to E-Man for being today's winner. Hit us up. Thank you guys for being here. Like the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when we're dropping our daily live content. We will catch up with you.
One more. Bobby below average Baltimore. Go ahead. You can keep
Tila, you really going to do that, Tila, on the way out? You know, Miss Loyal. I thought she was Miss Loyal.
Oh, I'm reading these as we go out when we're not talking.
You are.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you, guys. We'll catch up with you on Thursday. We're out. Unreal. Tila, you doing me dirty.